Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the old coach, and we're in our M.A.S.H and GPS headquarters up in Blairsville, and we're having a great day today. Today is my 80th birthday, and, I don't know how many fireworks we're going to put off tonight, but there's got to be some hooplash. Oh, me. But today we're doing a very serious topic that we're going to run as a series. But just really open your heart and your head and take in what we're going to talk about today is an exit strategy. Now, I've been self-employed all my life. I've had over 40 businesses, LLCs, and every one of them I started with what we want to do, but then the very next thing was creating an exit strategy. Because without an exit strategy, in other words, I'm going to run this business, but what am I going to do with it when I got it running, when everything's going? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to give it to my kids? What are we going to do? Exit strategy. Now, every one of us, like it or not, has got an exit strategy for ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about today. Your exit strategy and my exit strategy. And there's a lot of difference in talking about an exit strategy when you're 80 than when you're 20. You got a different view, a different thought. Now, I'm 80 years old, and I've never quit doing business, still doing it right now. And I love it. But the time's coming when we're out of here. And whatever you've planned for your exit, if you did not include being born again and going to heaven, you missed the boat. And I don't care what business you've done, what you're going to do, nothing is more important than a true exit strategy that you know and believe is accurate. And how much time and effort you put into that is going to determine whether you're excited with this life or not. You're going to display what you want to happen now. My exit strategy naturally is to go to heaven. But so few people have ever been there. So how do you talk about it? How do you know? And I've been listening to some of these people that have done what I have done. And when I was a young man, God took me there. And there's no description. You can't think of how awesome it is. And I'm not talking about streets of gold and pearly gates. I'm talking about the second that you die. There is no question you can ask. You're in God's hands. And you're going to know the answer to anything you would ask. And to me, that peace that come over me, the second that I was out of body for 5 hours. I didn't know it, but that's what it was. And my goodness, how you feel, what you do. But the word in all of that, when I was doing that, was the word peace. Because we don't have peace on this earth without Jesus. You're going to have some spots of things, but peace, real peace. And that real peace comes from no fear, no thoughts of what's going to happen when you die. Because if you're born again, there is zero doubt I made it. I get to go to heaven. And it's that kind of, it's unbelievable how beautiful and how simple and how important it is. But when you wake up of a morning and you know, not maybe, you know that if I die today for eternity, I'm going to be in heaven with Jesus. Now, see, that's so hard to relate. It really is. Because how do we think about eternity? How do you really try to put a time on eternity? But that's what we got, because we are a spirit, and that heavenly body is spirit. And when we get there, there's no bonds, there's no something to keep you from doing something. And you can't ask a question because you already know the answer. Now try to imagine that. And if I hadn't been there, I don't think I could imagine it. But it's real. And when you look around, and I was raised in a loving home. Didn't have any money, but we had love. And my mother was absolutely a saint. She was unreal. And my grandmother and my grandfather, on both sides of the family, were just awesome beyond words. They loved, and it was a calm conversation. It wasn't but they just related to what they believed and how life would be. But here we are, and all them years growing up and all these years of working, and I don't want anybody to believe that I'm angelic. If somebody could look in my closet, it'd scare them to death. But once I was born again, there was never a doubt that I was going to heaven. And hear me, there's nothing that could be or could ever be in your life that's more important than going to heaven. That's the exit strategy from this earth. Here we sit and talk, and we can laugh and do whatever we do, but the reality of that is, boom. When it's over here, but it's never over in heaven. You're there, and it is beyond awesome. And see, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. Right this minute, I've got a first cousin that I grew up with, a close neighbor, and he's being buried right now. Now, I don't go to funerals. I hadn't been to anything except my immediate families since Vietnam. But I've prayed for him and that family all day long. And there ain't nothing you can do for a dead person. It's done. His exit strategy, whether he fulfilled it or not, is already in the books. And he either lived that with peace or lived it with fear. I don't have the answer to that. Nobody does. But him and God. Because sometime last week, that's where he was. He was in there saying, just me and God. Now, am I born again? I don't know. Well, if you don't know, you ain't born again. Because when you're born again, you're going to know that God moved into your spirit and he's there to direct your life. You're going to know it, not maybe. You're going to know it. And there's no more peace on this earth than knowing that you've got a home in heaven for eternity. And I went to heaven, and I was 12 or 13 years old. And all the things that I'd heard all my life, the streets of gold and gates of pearl, and I didn't see any of that. I saw and felt peace. Everywhere I was there, It was total peace. And nothing could hit my brain that was even questionable because it was God. And analyze for yourself. And like I said, I'm 80 years old today. And if I had a message, and I've had over 6,000 employees in my life, so I've seen and heard a lot of things. But none of that is important compared to your exit strategy that you're going to live and get to. And that exit strategy is simple. You want to go to heaven? Answer it wherever you're sitting right now. Do you want to go to heaven? There's only one way to get there. Be born again. Let God take over in your life. And he's not going to make you do anything, but he's going to give you an invitation. And anybody I could point at and say, open up and let him in. And if you live anywhere in North Georgia or in Blairsville at the head of the Notley River, if you're anywhere local, in the middle of this room, and it's a training center, we would invite you to come and get an understanding of what it is to be born again. What it is to be born again. And I am a professional marketer and salesman. It's what I've done all my life. But God spoke to me out loud 40 years ago and said, won't you go to work for me? He didn't say come preach. He said, won't you go to work for me? So I'm hoping that's what this is doing for somebody out there right now, is that understanding and that peace. Because here's what you get. The second you say, Lord, come into my being, guide me, direct me, there's three things that's going to happen to you instantly. First thing it is, you're going to feel peace that you've never even imagined, much less felt. Because you can't describe what it's like to not be able to ask a question, because you already know the answer to it. Now think about that, please. It's like, and I love doing it every time I do it, hit that Google on the phone, da-da-da-da-da, whatever, and an instant answer. Well, multiply that times 1,000, and that's what you got when you're communicating with God. Because prayer and God's thoughts travel at the speed of thought. Now smile a little bit about that. The speed of thought. Don't care where we are in this life. If you need God, he is a thought away. Not a speech, not a statement, a thought. Because how many times in your life already, just out of something, have you said, oh God? Well, he knows what all of that, oh God, meant, and analyzes it that quick. He's got an answer for you that quick. And I don't know why all this is out here today, but there's purpose. And if you will, hit that follow button, follow us, and tell us in comments what you think about what we're stating here. And if you need help with that, come see us. Come on the mountain. We got 38 acres over here on the side of this mountain. It's just awesome. Trout stream running right through the middle of it. And we've got a veteran cemetery here that we just love. And we're building right now a hero wall where we can put people on that wall that's been special to us. Both of my grandfathers and my mom's on it. But come and look, because it ties stuff that I don't know any other way to do it. But whoever you are, you're special. And you're special to God. And he has got a absolute job, because what you're going to get when you're born again is peace, purpose, and power. The peace is unbelievable. It's instant. You've got a peace, and that peace only comes from knowledge that no matter what, I get to go to heaven. You can't describe that peace until you feel it. It's total peace. And then all of us, all of our life, it's why I'm on 40-something businesses, seeking, searching for purpose, something that we really like doing, and da-da-da-da-da. It's awesome. But born again, you've got that. You're going to find it. And God's going to direct you to where that comes right in front of you. That's awesome. And then the power to do whatever that purpose is. That's all God. And he'll do it. Hear me, he will do that. But you've got to be willing, because he's not going to take a stick and beat you there. It's just from what you got in here. And God, right now we're asking whoever's watching this, let them know that you have got this, all those things prepared for whoever this is. Contact us. Let us know. Prayer requests, whatever you're doing. And I started a conversation about this chair, and I call it the Sadie chair. That's my grandmother Smith. She was an absolute prayer warrior. So we set a chair up out here that everybody that's sat in it has found that born again experience. And not that it's the chair, that ain't the deal. But God is always there, ready to perform on you, that born again. And you're going to know it. It's real. So come and find it. We need a big year. We need a lot to do. There's a lot of people out there that needs born again. Are you one of them? That's our question. And if you are, whatever we can do to help you, please get it done, because in your life, there's nothing more important than being born again. Nothing. And I don't care what you do. And if you get a chance, we've got a book out there right now called What a Difference a Day Makes. Get a copy of it and read it. That's my story. And it relates to 10 days in my life that really made a difference. And then we went through all the process in that. Well, out of these 10 days, which one was most important? The most important day in my life in all 80 years has been the day I was born again. Be born again. If you got any questions or any comments or whatever, let us know. Send it to us. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you. But come on the mountain and enjoy what we got. Love you, and follow us, because these videos will just keep coming. So have an absolute awesome, awesome day. And right now it's just 3 days till Christmas. So Merry Christmas, and God bless every one of you. Pray for us. Thank you.
To learn more about M.A.S.H, visit our website at mash16ek.com. Watch the latest videos and download the God's Purpose System app for simple, insightful messages. Do consider donating to the Holly Hill Hero Project. Your donation helps provide a final resting place for our veterans at no cost. Find out the many ways you can give and make a difference in the life of a veteran and their families.